I am standing in our makeshift kitchen, our future dining room. And as you can see, we're still missing windows. But today, we have some exciting news. After months of waiting, we ordered these back in November. Our windows finally came in, and I am excited to get these installed in the house and see how they look. So here is our 4 new Andersen windows. We decided to try Andersen. So this is where we're starting. We have one window on this wall. I'm going to take you guys along, show you how to properly prepare and install this window. Starting with my knife, I'm going to cut out the house wrap, get the window opening prepped. That's all there is to it. So as you saw, I'm cutting the house wrap flush to the opening, and that is the proper way to do it. The old days of doing the X-cut, folding in the flaps is over with. You want a flush cut window for the best installation. And even better yet, if you want, you can even cut this back another 2 inches so that you can install your window right to the wood. That's the way Ashley would do it. I'm going to leave it flush, my personal preference. Then we cut some diagonal slits at the top and leave a little flap for the top of the window, and that's going to bring our water membrane over the top flange of the window so that water can't get behind it. I'm going to be using my favorite flashing tape, and that's this Protecto Wrap Super Stick building tape. Now, to protect the opening of my window, just in case any water ever does get in, condensation or whatever, I'm going to start with a sill pan. This is just some clear plastic sill pan material, and it's going to form a solid seal for the sill. Now, if you can't find this, it's hard to find. You could always just use some tape, flashing tape at the bottom. It's just the same. Now, what I really like about this, though, is that when you put it on there, it has watertight corners, and you don't have to rely on tape folding around these tight corners and, you know, not having holes and all that. So that's why I like this method. We're just going to throw a staple in here to hold it in place. Okay, and then the seam where it overlaps, we'll just cut a little piece of flashing tape and seal them together. Now we have a solid seal over here. And something else I like to do that I won't be able to show you is after I put my window in, and you could do it before, but I like to cut a wedge shim, and I put it under here to help support the window, but also to help taper this so that if any water does get in there, it holds it at a slight angle. So I'll do that later. I'm going to pull this staple out. It's a little too close for me. Now that step, putting the flashing tape on the sides, is totally optional. You could install the window with just the pan. You want this flashed, tape or sill pan. You want something on the bottom, but the sides are optional. I'm doing it because it's not a lot of extra tape, and it gives me a nice clean edge and sealed water barrier for me to put my window against. We're not worried about the top because the top flap has to go over the window, and taping wood serves no purpose other than, I guess it would be a water seal of some sort, but I don't think it needs it. The window opening is prepped, and we can go ahead and set our window. I'm going to make sure I have shims ready to go, so let me go find some shims. So I got a couple shims. Now these shims are only going to be for the bottom. What I want to do is raise the window up off the sill about 1/4 inch. We'll see how the fit is, might adjust it later. A lot of people skip this step. I see so many people just throw the window in on the sill and not lift it up. It has to be lifted to center it properly so that you have an even gap at the top and the bottom. And that also gives you space for drainage just in case the window ever leaks, because they sometimes do. And like I said, after I get the window set, I can kind of gauge what I need to do, and I will cut a wedge shim to stick under it to help support the window at the back edge. It's only the back. We leave the front open so it's high and dry. I'm ready for the window. These are heavy. So I think we're ready to get this window lifted into place, see how it fits, and get it secured. I'm going to be attaching it with these. Now, this might not be the best option, but it was the best option available to me. These are cabinet screws, so I'm looking for a screw with a very low profile head. You could also use roofing nails, but I'm deciding to use screws. And these are rated for outdoor use in treated lumber and everything, so they should last a very long time. Like I said, they have a very low head, so they won't get in the way. And notice they're long, 2 inches long. You want to get at least 2 inches long nails or screws. Don't skimp. Make sure they go deep into that wood. You want to go on the inside? Now I've only got a couple screws holding that in right now, so we're going to be careful, but what I want to do is make sure and check everything inside and get it all plumbed up and square, make sure everything's set before we screw in the perimeter. Alright, I think it's going to be good where that is. Now always follow the instructions of the manufacturer, but generally you want to screw at least 4 inches from the corner. And I believe about every 8 inches apart. I'm doing every other hole on this flange, which is about 6 inches apart. And that'll be enough. Now you might have noticed that I didn't use any window sealant underneath the flange. I know it's common practice to put a bead of sealant around the window flange, and you can do that if you want to. You could apply it to the house or the back of the window flange, but don't seal the bottom. Always leave the bottom unsealed so that if water gets in, water can get out. That's the drying point. The draining point. But the rest of the flanges, you can seal them. Now I didn't forget, it's just not a practice I'm a fan of, and the flashing tape is totally adequate to keep the water out of the window. The sealant is just a redundant system, and hopefully you don't even need to get to that point. So I'm just going to be covering the sides and top flange with more flashing tape, and that's what's going to seal it instead of using a window sealant. Now with this tape, we're going to come way up here, way down here. And I'm coming way up above the top flange here. I feel like these are just making it hard for me to work. First we do the sides, now we can tape the top flange. Leave the paper loose, just tape the flange to the wood siding, overlapping the sides. Now we're going to be taping the slits that we made for that top flap. I'm going to be using Tyvek tape to seal those seams. You could use flashing tape, whatever you got. And now you can see that my angles are taped. Water will shed down onto this flashing tape. Everything is weather sealed and air sealed, and that's important. And this flap, it's okay to just be loose like that. When this trim and siding's on, it'll be totally fine. You can see the water shed going on, and we technically still need another piece up here overlapping. And now we don't put a drip cap on the window because we're going to be having trim. So what we'll do is install our trim, install a drip cap over the top of the trim. A drip cap is a piece of metal flashing that pushes rain out away. So trim, drip cap, weather barrier goes over the drip cap, and the trim will just be caulked right here. We don't need to put a drip cap on top of the window. I see a lot of people do this. But you can see it's already here. There's all this flashing tape. You're just being redundant at that point, adding another drip cap. So, it's all done. I don't want to leave all this film on here to get baked in the sun. Check it out, guys. Oh, it is beautiful and clear. And once we get this workshop trailer moved out of the way, we'll have a beautiful view outdoors. Now we just got to get rid of this packaging stuff. You can see that's just screwed in, simple Phillips head screw. Get this strap, these locking blocks out of the way, and we'll be able to work this window. So that's how we install a window, and it's a good method. So I hope you found it helpful, and we're just excited to have our windows in, finally. We have 3 more windows to go. This little dining room has windows on 3 sides. So we're gonna keep working on those and get them done, and it's gonna be awesome to be that much further ahead on our house project. Stay tuned for all the renovation that's to come, but that's all we have for now. So thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.
Bye.
Okay, I just remembered something. We bought these windows because we were looking for a wood window. That's what we really wanted for this house, was solid wood windows. And it's been hard finding exactly what we wanted. But these are solid wood on the inside with the Fibrix material on the outside. I think it's Fibrix. That could be something else. Let me think. We try to avoid vinyl products whenever we can. Whenever there's a suitable alternative, we try to avoid vinyl. They're bad for the environment, they're bad for people, and they don't actually last that long, and we just don't like them. So we avoid vinyl. We hope that this new material lasts and holds up and is stronger and better than vinyl. But like I said, most of the window is wood. We like that. It gives the house a nice rich feel, an old feel. And the quality of the windows is awesome. They look really good. Now it is an Andersen. They cost too much money, but they are well made. It's a double hung window. They tilt in for easy cleaning. They have all kinds of nice features, I guess. We did order them with a kind of a smart sun glass, which is like designed to block a lot of UVs, because we don't want a lot of UV damage in the house, and also because this room gets more sun than any room in the house. It gets pretty much all day sun and evening sun, which is the worst. So we made sure to get windows that had a good UV rating and a good like low E rating, so that we wouldn't be cooked out of the house during the summer. I think that's all there is to say about those windows. With a good glass, good coatings, that's it, right?
I guess so.